Okay, so our next speakers, we have Sherilyn Hilton and Corinne Hoffman here with us. They both manage the USU Farmers Market and have some wonderful tips for sharing on how to be the best vendor that you can be, how to get into farmers markets, how to use SNAP, which is a wonderful program that's been incorporated into our farmers markets. And so I'm going to turn the time over to them. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Sheridan. And I will share my screen. Okay, there we go.
All right. I'm Corinne Hoffman, and this is Sherilyn Hilton, and we are the managers of the USU Botanical Center Farmers Market. I have been with the market as a volunteer or on the management team for 6 years now. It's my happy place during the summer. So we're excited to share a little bit more about this with you.
I'm Sherilyn Hilton, and this is my 3rd year as a master gardener at the Botanical Center and my 2nd year as the assistant manager at the market. So let's get started.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about if farmers markets are worth the trouble. We know that you work hard, and we know this is an extra duty to do, but we want to talk about that. We're going to talk about nutritional incentives, SNAP and double up food bucks, ways that you can be successful at a farmer's market, a little bit about our own market, and a little bit about the Utah Farmers Market Network. So we know that participating at a farmer's market is not easy as a produce producer. So growing and harvesting produce is a lot of work. We do a little bit of it, you do a lot of it, and it's hard enough when it's a little bit. And so we help harvest produce here at the Botanical Center and in our gardens. It's a lot of work. So why is it worth your time and energy to pick up all that produce and take it to a farmer's market? First, farmers markets are a great way to advertise your business. Whoa, wait a minute. There we go. Let me get this down here, sorry. So all Utah farmers markets have seen a huge increase in the amount of patrons that we're getting, especially the last few years. It's becoming a more popular way to get your produce. When people come to the farmers market, they're usually coming with the intention of buying. There's not a ton of window shopping when it comes to produce. They may go around to the different booths, but most people come with the intention to buy. Also, right now, there is a bigger movement towards local produce. We call it a food renaissance, where people want to buy things from local. They want to know where their food is coming from, who is growing their food, and they want to be able to use it that way. So they know that their food choices impact their community and the planet in general. And farmers markets are a great way to begin a business or grow a business at a new location. Generally, most markets have low fees, especially for produce vendors. And every market in Utah, especially your smaller and mid-range markets, are looking for more produce vendors. So farmers markets are a great way to advertise your business. They offer direct access to your customers and provide an easy way to make new customers and contacts. They're a great way to promote other parts of your business too. If you have a CSA or you're doing events at your farm or you're trying out new products, it's a great way to do that. Most farmers market offer nutritional incentives to attract customers with cash that can only be spent at the market and additional cash that can only be spent on produce. And most markets also have collections for patrons to donate produce to local food pantries and banks. So farmers markets with the local food, it's the definition of local food. They help keep food dollars within the local community. The pandemic has opened a lot of people's eyes on the issue of food security, and farmers markets can hedge against supply chain disruption. Lastly, farmers markets bring community together. We strive to make our market a safe and fun event where all members of our community feel welcome. And we want our market to be a great gathering place. In addition to that, we were speaking to a few farmers market vendors, and one of them pointed out to us that it's a great way to encourage future farmers, that when kids come with their parents to the markets, they see the farmers. It's a way to help continue that lifestyle and see where it's coming from. So it's a great way to encourage the farming community to continue.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about SNAP. It's a program that we've mentioned a couple times. SNAP stands for the Supplemental Nutrition and Assistance Program. It's run through the Department of Agriculture. It's a federal program. And most farmers markets in the state participate in this SNAP program. SNAP is kind of the modern day version of food stamps. And according to some data we found, 54% of SNAP participants go to farmers markets, and every market in the state and nationally have seen increased participation in the SNAP program at markets, especially the last 2 years since the pandemic began. In 2020, we were able to double the amount of SNAP participation we saw at our market, and last year we tripled on top of that doubling. So it's a great place to sell products because people come to spend money at the market and use their benefits there. The other program that we're part of is called Double Up Food Bucks, or DUFB. Sometimes in the slides it will say that. It is administered by the Utah Department of Health. It's a way to stretch SNAP benefit dollars for those on the program. Basically, we match dollar for dollar up to $30 at a market SNAP benefit dollars, and the matched amount of dollars are used for purchasing produce and produce only. So an example would be someone comes to our market, they want to use $10 of their benefits. We give them 10 tokens for SNAP purchases, and then we give them an additional 10 tokens that can only be used for purchasing produce. So altogether, they have $20 to spend, and it's a triple win because they can get more produce for their families. It's great for our produce vendors at the market to be able to get more clients. And then once again, this money stays local within our own economies. So Double Up Food Bucks can only be used to purchase produce. And once again, just like our SNAP participation, we were able to triple our participation last year on top of doubling it the year before. So these are the products that are eligible with the SNAP program. The top are for SNAP only. So that's basic goods that you could buy at a grocery store, fruits and vegetables. At our market, we have honey, baked goods. We really try to get bread vendors in. We also sell Aggie cheese because we couldn't find a cheese vendor and decided to sell it ourselves. We do everything we can to try to get people with eggs to come. And then we also have vendors for meat and dips and salsas. And then the Double Up Food Bucks, like I said, can only be used to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables and food plants and seeds. So we made some signs to display signs for our vendors to display at the market. We wanted to lower the barrier for our SNAP patrons. A lot of people don't speak English as their first language, for one thing, and a lot of people don't like asking to see if vendors participate in the SNAP program. So we just wanted to make easy to read signs that made it clear that who sells what and what you can use. So these are the wooden tokens are our SNAP tokens, and the shiny green ones are the Double Up Food Buck tokens. So how it works as a vendor is that so SNAP patrons will come to our information booth. They'll get whatever value of benefits they'd like to withdraw from their account. We give them dollar for dollar amount of tokens. So if they want $10 worth of benefits, we'll give them 10 wooden tokens and then match with the 10 tokens of the double up food bucks. And each token is worth $1 and you can't give change for them. So that's something to consider in your pricing. For SNAP patrons is that it's a dollar amount for things. So take that into account. And at the end of the day, the vendors bring all of their tokens to us and we reimburse them with actual cash. And that's it for SNAP. So let's talk about success at the market.
Okay, so success at the market. We do have some things. We do need to do your best practices for food safety. And so follow those Utah Department of Agriculture guidelines. We had a training from them last week on this. And these were a few hints or tricks, not tricks, but tools that they asked us to go over with our vendors, is to make sure you wash your hands before harvesting. And don't soak or store produce in water. It's really common to put like your bunch of carrots in water to keep them crisp, but that can cause contamination. So, maybe keep some in a cooler and have some out that you can spritz to keep that going, but don't soak or store them in water. Don't sell produce that's touched the ground. And don't reuse shopping or produce bags like your old grocery bags shouldn't be reused at the farmer's market. Make sure you clean your containers between uses and markets just for that cross-contamination, and discourage customers from picking through your produce. You should be the one, for the most part, handling the produce. And there are some ways to help with that. For instance, have it pre-bagged or those type of things. So a few things to ensure success at a farmer's market is to make sure you remember what you need to bring every week. On top of your produce, there's quite a bit. So make a weekly checklist that you can check off as you're leaving. A canopy for shade is really important. Most of these farmers markets are held outside, and in the summer it gets really hot. For instance, ours is in the afternoon. Some are in the morning and not as bad, but you're still going to want that canopy for shade and cover. You should have weights on your canopy. Wind is a big factor for liability at every market that we've talked to. Tables that you're going to need, you're going to want to bring water and snacks. And some things to make your booth a little bit better too is make sure you clearly display your prices so that you don't have to answer that question a lot of times. If people can see the prices, they're more likely to buy than if they have to ask. So it's just best to have that right up there. It's really important that you know the market rules for the market that you're going to. Each market is going to have different rules. So make sure you read through those rules that they have available for you. You want to set up before the market starts. At our market, for instance, we open at 5, but we often have customers show up as early as 4:30. And I'm not saying you need to be ready to go like an hour before market starts, but early is on time is a little late for a farmer's market. You want it ready to go the minute that farmer's market opens, maybe a little bit before. And you'll know your own customers after a few weeks, so you'll be able to know when that is. If you're going to be late or not able to make it that week, please contact your manager as soon as possible. There's a lot of planning that goes into place, and we actually do get a lot of people that'll be like, hey, where's this vendor this week? It's best when we can tell them, oh, ran into some issues, they'll be here next week. But just keep that communication open. It's a professional courtesy, and it really does benefit you as well. A big thing is be friendly and engage with your customers. If you're looking at your phone when people walk by, they're less likely to stop and buy. So engage your customers and be friendly. So about your booth. Just one moment. We encourage you to go big. It's kind of funny, but decorations, not necessarily decorations, but having an aesthetic at your booth can be the difference between a sell and not a sell at a farmer's market. You don't need to go crazy, but just a little bit of effort. Visual appeal will draw people to your stand and lead to more sales. Display your best items and create a feel of abundance. Some vendors create a tiny shop feel by having their tables further back so people walk in. Others can use baskets or boxes, and vertical displays are great so that you get things at eye level, and just some visual interest too so that you can get there. You also want to make it easy to shop. There's different types of customers. Some patrons love to spend time at the market and look at everything. Others just want to get their tomatoes and get out of there. Cater to both types. Sell a grab and go box of basic items. Some customers are looking for amazing, beautiful produce and don't blink an eye at $2 a tomato. Others want to make jam and they don't care if it's not perfect. So bring your uglies, discount them, and sell a large quantity for jam. But have a variety of price points. We have patrons in all income brackets. Think of ways to target different groups with your produce. And if you accept different types of payment, make sure people know. If you accept cards or Venmo, make it clear you can have a sign with your Venmo QR. Make it easy for people to pay you. You can also collaborate with other vendors. Maybe have a fajita week with the meat vendor or omelet week with the egg vendor, and team up with the cheese vendor for charcuterie. You'll get to know your other vendors, and it's really great when you can support each other. We've seen that a lot at our market where they'll be, oh, this corn would go great with that beef over there if you want to check that out. It's been great for our customers. And again, we can't overstate engaging with your customers. Don't sit at the table looking at your phone. You can offer some samples. You can tell stories to your customers. And by tell a story, I mean, maybe have a sign that say, this produce was grown locally here. Show some pictures of your farm. Make them, get to know them and let them get to know you. People like to know where they're buying their food from. And we also want you to create a following. We do have people that do follow our farmers that buy from them, not just during the farmers market. They may have become acquainted with them, but they will buy off season from them as well. Also, we want you to create a following with social media. It's free and it's fairly easy. It's our primary form of advertising at our market because our budget is pretty small. But we do our best to share vendor information with our followers, and we ask our vendors to share our posts with their followers. It's an easy way to tell your customers what you're bringing to market each week. You can make a QR sign of your social media page to post at your stall to make it easy for people to follow you. But social media really makes a huge difference. So now we want to talk about some different examples. If you look at this picture here, everything's clearly labeled as to what it is. It's aesthetically pleasing. We do not see that each is individually marked with a price, but we're guessing there's a sign somewhere that says all herb bunches are this much. We're going to pretend that there is anyways, if there's not.
And we would love to have a vendor like this at our market, by the way.
We would. We are lacking on greens and herbs. The next picture that we're showing, we love how everything is so clearly labeled, how there's different colors, there's different labels, and you can see the vertical right there that just has that different level, and it has the different colors highlighted there. So, and then this last one, this is a person that obviously loves tomatoes. And so they're able to highlight each of those different types of tomatoes. Aunt Ruby's German green is there, and Cherokee purple. Those are some of my favorites. And so I would be drawn to something like that when I can know what it is that I'm eating. It's not just a cool tomato, it's this kind of tomato. And so
they also have a good like a variety pack that's easy to buy as well. We're right here.
So yeah, a sample pack.
So different ways of packaging your produce can definitely reach different customers.
Okay, and we also know that it can be difficult to get started, but there are programs to help, especially our urban farmers. Two grant programs that we are aware of. Urban Food Connections of Utah provides micro grants for farmers selling at, SNAP and Double Up food buck participating markets. That's a mouthful. They are currently accepting applications. They can do things to help you update your irrigation. We talked about that today. We know that they've helped some people put in high tunnels. So there are ways that you can get help to increase your production. And again, they're grants, and the website is down there. We encourage you to go look that up. And the deadline for that is March 20th. Another organization that is available to farmers market vendors or small businesses, nonprofits committed to slow food is Slow Food Utah. And they do a yearly grant program as well. And they've helped with things even like, didn't they say buying tractors?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, and so they really do a good job. Unfortunately, they have closed for this year, but it's definitely an organization that you will want to look into, or at least, check that out, and you can apply for next year's grant, start getting that ready. But these are two organizations that can help you increase your yields and, make that work better for you. And hopefully at farmers markets as well.
And one thing the Urban Food Connections did say is, even though they're based out of Salt Lake and they've done a lot of work in the Salt Lake area, they are looking to expand out into the other areas of the state.
Yeah, they already have, but they want to do more of that. So we want to talk just a little bit about our farmers market. Each farmers market is going to have a little bit of a different flavor. We're all a little different. It's kind of funny when we get together, we'll talk and there's some common things, but then we're like, oh, but our market's different. Every single one of us says that. So we kind of laugh about that. Ours is a little different even than most of the others that are a little different. So our mission but we have a 4-part mission. And that's to support and promote educational programs offered by the USU Botanical Center. We also serve as an outlet for SNAP and Double Up food bucks.
We're currently the only market in Davis County that is participating in this program.
And we are personally working with several other markets to encourage them to join with SNAP and Double Up food bucks. We also want to showcase Utah agriculture products and local artisans. That's pretty standard across most farmers markets. Yes. And then we also want to celebrate the community here in Davis County and make this a place where everybody can come and mingle and get together. So we've been having fun with that. So about our market, we run from July, usually the first Thursday after the 4th of July through mid-September. And we're Thursdays to 5 to 8 p.m. or dusk, whichever is first. So towards the end of the season, it's dusk. This is our 16th year. We are staffed by Davis County Master Gardener volunteers. We tend to have weekly events. We will hide some of our master gardeners throughout the gardens in our botanical center and make people go find them and ask questions about the gardens. We have tours sometimes. We opt in with different things like Taste of USU Botanical Center and the Scarecrow Walk. We participate in that. We have stargazing nights, and we get Antelope Island out here to do some educational programs, and we do, night sky viewing.
Yeah, we want our market to be more than just a shopping experience. We also want it to be an educational experience and something that people take something away when they go home and learn something new.
Yeah, we try to make sure that nobody comes and doesn't leave with a better understanding of the services that the extension can offer to them. We do sometimes mini gardening classes. We've done beekeeping classes, and we try to have live music too. So it'll be fun that way. In 2021, we added food trucks so you can come and get dinner and shop. And it's been nice for us. The primary purpose is the market, and people know that. And the food trucks are just there. And they do add a lot, but sometimes when you have food trucks, people won't spend as much on produce because they worry about, I don't know, when you're going there to party, it's different than when you're going there to get your food. So
it's window shopping. Everybody buys more stuff than they expect.
that's true. And at the Utah State University Botanical Center, through the program Buy and Share with Your Neighbor, and through our edible demonstration garden, that we were able to sell produce from there, and anything that we didn't sell, we took to food pantries. So we were able to donate about 2,000 pounds of produce. Typically, we have about 30 to 40 vendors and some food trucks, anywhere from 6 to 8. We typically get about 500 patrons each week. Towards the end of the season, we were getting closer to 1,000. Produce vendors are sponsored. So we have somebody that sponsors all produce vendors. You do not have a vendor fee. You just need to bring your tent and table, but we do need to know. We do have an application, but they are sponsored. SNAP vendors, anyone that is selling SNAP eligible foods, are only $5 a week at our market. And we have patrons from mostly North Davis County, so Layton, Clearfield, Kaysville, Farmington North. I mean, anybody can come, but that's where the majority of our customers come from. And we're currently accepting applications. So we want to talk a little bit about all farmers markets. We know you're not all here in Davis County, but there are farmers markets throughout the state. In fact, there are about 50 and 33 that belong to the Farmers Market Network. But every farmers market is unique. They're going to have different sizes, demographics, and vibes. And so we recommend that you visit or contact the manager and get to know them, know if you can work with them, read through their rules and regulations, look at their fees. They're different fees. And so look through there, get that information, but contact your local farmers market managers. Everybody is looking for produce. Every meeting we've had, they're like, how do we get more produce vendors? And a lot of it is, for instance, our market would really like more of the micro farms. That would, for us, would be huge. And we're not Ogden, and we're not downtown Salt Lake. And so we don't draw the crowds that they do. And the bigger farms are wonderful, but we understand what market we are. And so, but just get to know your local farmers market. It would be wonderful to work with them. And I think that's it, isn't it? No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So there is a network of farmers markets, and you can find them at Utah Farmers Markets Network.org. And there's 33 markets that participate. Some markets have multiple seasons, like most all markets are open in the summer, but there's also winter and fall, and some have spring ones. On the map, you can see that the markets are spread pretty much throughout the state. And I think that's our last slide. I don't know, it's not advancing. There we go. So if you have any questions or want more information or want to follow us, please follow us. There's our information, and I guess we can open it up for questions.
Thank you both. That was wonderful. We do have a couple of questions for you. So Steve asked, based on your slide, double up food buck tokens can be used for plants that are edible and seeds that are edible. Can these also be purchased with SNAP, or is it just the double up?
Yes.
Yes. Anything you can purchase with the double up food bucks, you can purchase with the SNAP.
Well, for produce.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could purchase like a basil plant. You could purchase with double up food buck tokens,
Okay.
or a pumpkin start, or a pepper start, or a tomato.
Yeah, it doesn't work the same way. Like the SNAP tokens, you can't use them for everything. Well, no, wait a minute. I've got it wrong. Sherilyn has it right.
You can use the the SNAP tokens can be used to buy
For
produce
everything.
as well as the double up
Yes.
food bucks. The double up food bucks just can't be used to buy cheese or meat or other things. And this is an ongoing confusing thing for everybody, but that's the gist of it.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Christine asked, as a vendor, do you need to apply to accept SNAP coins, or do you just have a sign saying we accept SNAP coins and then just exchange the coins at the end of the market? How does that work?
So each market goes through, we jump the hoops so that you don't have to. So you would just need to talk to the farmer's market manager and make sure that farmer's market is set up to accept SNAP. So our vendors are all set up to accept SNAP. If you're at our market and you have SNAP eligible food, you are eligible for the program. But you need to make sure that the market you choose to go to has done the training that they need to do to run that program. So you won't need to jump through the hoops. You'll just need to show up and work with the market manager. And it's really a pretty slick system. We have not had many problems with it. You accept the coins, you bring us the coins, we hand you the cash that very same day.
Perfect. Taylor says, are cut flowers included at all in any of this?
Not for SNAP or Double Up food bucks, but they are definitely wanted at markets.
Yes,
Sure.
everybody wants flowers.
Okay, any other questions? We can probably take one more. Okay, I don't see any more coming, but thank you both for presenting this. I think it was really informative for people who maybe have not used SNAP or the Double Up food bucks and all the different options out there. If you have questions, I would really encourage you to contact these two ladies. If you're interested in being a vendor, give them an email or a call or get in touch with them. You know, the pandemic has changed the amount of produce vendors that are out there and has really shaken up the markets in some ways. So a market that you maybe had an idea about before, you know, maybe it's changed a little bit since we've been through this pandemic. So give these two ladies a call or an email and talk to them. Thank you both so much.
And we know most of the farmers market managers in the state. So if you're not in the Davis area,
we can line you up.
We can point you to who to talk to.
Perfect. Thank you.